What do you think?
You know, I was one of the people who told President Mahama that he shouldn't bother himself wasting his time. In fact, engaging anybody in whatever investigations were being done about him. I was one of the people.
Why not?
I thought that, look, President Mahama is someone I know. President Mahama is someone who would advise you, even privately, to do things so well that you don't get stained with corruption. But you see, every time I did that, President Mahama said one thing. He said, posterity will be the best judge, and that vindication lies in the womb of time. If I were Alhaji Bawumia, I would stop my campaign and come back to Accra, because the last lion straw they were holding on to has finally been exposed. In 2016, the sort of lies, the things have been deduced from this ruling. One, it has called Bawumia, further called Bawumia, a liar, because they were going around saying all sorts of things against President Mahama. Government official one, he took bribe, he was involved in an Airbus deal. Today, Bawumia has further been called a master class liar, so long as this ruling is concerned. Number two, what it has taught us is that the entire MPP as a party, I thought we were dealing with a political party, but it appears as if they are a full entity of fake news, messengers of fake news.
Meaning what?
They went to town with fake news, they went to the markets with fake news, and even after this ruling, yesterday, I was listening to some of their communicators attempting to skew the report and turn it upside down and behave funny. And I was looking at them. They are a gross entity of fake news, and if we don't stop them, the future of this country is at stake. The third thing it does for us is that at least it has told you and I that the right precedent has been set. Tomorrow, when Bawumia's corrupt balls are being held to the test of time, let no man sneeze in this country. Yesterday, after the ruling, I said, look, this office of a special prosecutor has already called Nana Addo the mother serpent of corruption. It will be very easy to investigate somebody that has been called the mother serpent of corruption. Very easy. All you do to a mother serpent of corruption is to use 2 days in investigating him. And as for Bawumia, his case will be terrible. You know why? Look, President Akufo-Addo, at least per the constitution, is immune after 3 years. That is what we are asked to learn, and that is what I think we know.
You mean per article?
Constitutionally, that's what the constitution. Article 57 absolutely
57
gives him some sort of immunity. But the vice president, Alhaji Bawumia, he will laugh at the wrong side of his mouth. You know why?
But you don't determine that.
Yeah, I'm telling
Malik,
you.
You don't determine.
But next year by this time, Bawumia will be PS1. PS1 means prime suspect 1. He will be PS1 in the 10,000 bags missing lily rice at the port. And in that one, the prosecution witness, who will be PW1, will be the Alhaji they stole his rice. Bawumia will be standing trial for the PDS scandal, that he changed the condition precedent to a condition subsequent, and as a result caused financial loss to the state. Today, we still go on arbitration at UK. Every week, the Attorney General spends Bank of Ghana's money in traveling to go and defend that case. Bawumia will be prime suspect 1 in the PDS scandal next year by this time, and will be in the witness box. Bawumia will have to explain to us how he learned how to take appearance fee. And we, where we come from, we don't even know Galamsey.
That's in relation.
Bawumia has learned fast on the job, to the extent that Edubwai said, Bawumia, you need to pay $250,000 before you sit by him and discuss concession matters, and he will give to you. In the investigation of the OSP didn't bring finality to that matter. He said Bawumia's corruption is so big that his office cannot even investigate, and we need to pass a Corrupt Practices Act. You remember, Roland? And after that passing of that act, we'll come back again and sit Bawumia down, because the level of his corruption is gargantuan. Next year by this time, Bawumia will be prime suspect 1 again in the appearance fee matter. Next year by this time, Bawumia will explain to us how they inflated sole source contracts to his brother, and all the Teshi roads, including renovation of the Sunyani airport, was given to his brother, direct brother, okay, Abraham Bawumia. at a sole source rate, and in the Auditor General's
Are you saying his brother is not entitled to do business?
The Auditor General said that the contracts were inflated, and as a result, that was why they passed it through a sole source corridor. And so they will explain to us how they inflated and ballooned that contract, because we know that Bawumia was the one who even sat in for the Ameri Innovation scandal, because President Akufo-Addo by then had gone for an ECOWAS summit, and it was under Bawumia's watch that the Ameri scandal was ballooned from 510 to 1.3 billion. So Bawumia is an expert in ballooning contracts, and next year by this time, prime suspect one Bawumia will be explaining to us. My worry is how they will feel when the laws finally start prosecution. But you see, the good news is that the Ghanaian people have seen that President Mahama is clean as cow milk. President Mahama is as pure as an angel. The man has Ghana at heart. The man will never steal from the state. The man will never balloon a contract. The nation builder, President Mahama, is one person who worked diligently, and nobody has anything to stain on him. Next year by this time, Bawumia will be answering questions on the Palugu irrigation dam. I'll land on this. $12 million squandered, yet no job done. If you don't have pity, if you don't feel pity for even anybody, feel pity for your own countrymen. $12 million they squandered and have abandoned the Palugu irrigation dam. Next year by this time, Bawumia will be in the witness box as prime suspect one.
That the project itself in excess of over 900 million.
And so where's the $12 million?
Well, according to the
so don't worry, explain it to him. Next year by this time, Nanado will be telling us what was in the brown envelope he took with his two hands. And for me, I know that the office that labeled him the mother serpent of corruption will not delay in throwing such people behind bars, and will be in this country. Let no man, Roland, let no man come begging President Mahama or the NDC to temper justice with mercy, because President Mahama availed himself, and they will need to avail themselves just like he has done. Ghanaians will now put away the rice and vote based on policy, and we are certain that clean President Mahama will emerge victorious in the upcoming election.
Rajantwa, is there a precedent now set following this? A former president, even after the 3 years, taking through some proceedings of investigations, and so perhaps that becomes a way for us.
Perhaps. Good morning.
Morning.
Perhaps. We've seen it in Trump. We've seen it in Pakistan. We've seen it in Zuma. So perhaps, I think, would we have the balls to follow it through? Roland, one thing that amazes me is that before this particular case was referred to the OSP by the president through Bediatu, his executive secretary, the cases in the UK and in America had already been heard and verdicts given. The president is a lawyer. Bediatu is a lawyer. Did they read through the verdicts before taking it to the OSP? Or they took it to the OSP just because they felt that let's pin him irrespective of what the international courts have said, and they took it. And now who has egg on his face? If it was taken for a spurious reason and not for fact, there was egg on his face. And this will happen to all those who follow after this. This would happen to President Akufo-Addo, will happen to all his appointees who, rumor has indicated that they have done what? They have involved themselves in corruption. Look, unfortunately, it's the people who are caught in between. People are caught in between.
In between what?
The kind of adversary politics that we play, the kind of lies we talk about each other in higher office, the people are caught in between. Because quite a number of people believed what was said about this particular deal where President Mahama is concerned, because of the way it had been pushed by the opposition, even on this platform. And you know, it's unfortunate that the MPP have boycotted this platform. It would have been great if they were sitting here.
Very great.
So that we could, you know, listen to what they have to say about this. I heard the Deputy General Secretary of the MPP on the news explained that the OSP didn't investigate this thing properly.
That's Haruna.
Yes. I wish you play it.
It's a joke.
He didn't investigate this thing properly. He didn't consider so many things. But if you read the document, it says for security purposes, a lot of the correspondence have been redacted because of the security implication. So what is Haruna talking about? What is the MPP talking about? That now you don't believe the OSP. However, when the OSP went the other way where Abnada Power is concerned, you were clapping. Huh? You can't be a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde at the same time. You can't.
Dr. Jekyll
And Mr. Hyde. It's a story. If you read books, you know who those two characters were. You can't be a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde at the same time. And you see, it's high time. Look, I've come to conclude that the democracy we have is a democracy of elections and a democracy of procurement. It's not a democracy of development. I've come to that conclusion.
And how did you come to that conclusion?
Because it's only during election time that you see, hey. After election, when you voted, everything dies down. And when you now vote the parties into power, procurement takes a much higher stance than development. Look through. But if you're doing procurement and the procurement is being done honestly, you can't accuse somebody of doing wrong when you don't have the facts. So right now, I ask President Akufo-Addo, where are the facts of this case that you feel President Mahama is guilty? Where? Show us.
They lie.
He certainly stood on rulings and the special prosecutor has again stated that in jurisdictions in the US as well as even the SFO office, when we're talking about the United Kingdom as well.
What did those
and for any president, the question then would be perhaps he thought there was something that again needed to be probed further because the matter concerned somebody within our jurisdiction in high office at the time.
So those rulings that were given, did it actually mention the president's name, the ex-president's name? Was it in there? For me, I believe the only time you can pinpoint is when you see that there is personal interest other than his official duties. That thing in the Constitution, 57(6), that says, in respect of anything done or omitted, to be done by him in his personal capacity. What covers personal capacity? If he's doing something outside the Constitution, if he's doing something for private interests, and sometimes if he's doing something where there is a certain connection to that private interest and he's doing it through someone else. I believe, and Malik indicated, that conflict of interest situation, when you look at the conflict of interest situation, there's quite a lot enumerated in this particular presidency. That conflict of interest situation. When Kanufuriata, with every bond he goes and he brings, and his interest seems to be catered for, is that conflict of interest?
You mean with Data Bank?
Yes, Data Bank.
With Data Bank?
Yes. He said, if I can use the word, he redacted himself from Data Bank, but he's still a shareholder. Is he part of Enterprise? What has happened with Enterprise today? Do they not control all government insurance? Wasn't it SIC who were doing it?
Okay.
So that conflict of interest issue is an issue that needs to come up.
Okay. And now we've been joined by